Hey family, you're welcome for Father Time by the Fire, but don't be selfish. Invite your friends, your family, your cousins, your sisters, and your enemies to watch with you Father Time by the Fire. We have some nice, interesting stories of long time ago, learning sessions. Just come and hook up with us. You're going to have fun. You're going to enjoy. If you missed having a father figure in your life, guess what? You still have a chance of having a father. And are you ready to join us with Father Time by the Fire with our father? So you are not scared, like the next morning this guy is going to come and look for me or stuff?
Of course, that's why like people are kind of like hesitant, like, oh, maybe don't take it.
Money.
Yeah. But he was drunk. Maybe the next morning he didn't even remember
So actually, Papa,
that he did that.
Growing up from an area with rough people, so how did you avoid being teased? Because I'm imagining growing up from Katwe where there are many gangsters, even up to now.
Yeah, but our group wasn't easy either.
Yeah.
We are kind of,
The positive.
and they would be knowing you and stuff also. It's not like, they would know you, so it wouldn't be.
So they knew that
have you
danger
ever found
zones.
yourself in a fight, like in a group fight? You meet some group that is trying to tease you, and you try defending yourself.
That kind of started when we were in boxing. I used to have some friends who were like kind of rough, beating up people, were having fun doing that. Me myself, I think I told you this story when the guy was trying to pull a gun on me.
A
and
gun?
I punched him, yeah.
Hey,
What?
Yeah.
you punched that guy. So
Bad man.
Self-defense, eh?
Yeah.
please first hold on, don't rush me. So was someone pointing the gun
He was
at you
pulling,
already,
he was
or
pulling, he was pulling out
Mm.
a gun. But this was in Kisenyi, long time ago.
What?
So you punched the guy and scattered.
He just wanted to hit you up, or he had
Not
some
just
money
punching, but he was knocked out.
Mm.
Because it took him a long time.
It took him like 45 minutes.
People
to
were
get up.
scared. Like,
They thought he was dead.
Yeah, and you know what happened the next day?
Uh-huh.
Like, they brought in the soldiers, and they picked up like all the young people around there and stuff. And I took like months not passing that side.
He never passed it. The guy was a soldier, right?
Yeah,
He was a
but we
soldier.
didn't know that at that time.
So he was
He
like
wasn't. He was in his civilian clothes, so he wasn't in the army uniform or anything
so
like
the
that.
army was like, they had to get you.
So you really knocked the guy out like that.
So actually, I had a friend of mine. Yeah, I had a friend of mine. Like, we used to go to school together. She was a girl, and she used to have a lot of money at school. Actually, she could just in a single day she could come with the money that could take us like 2 weeks having, 3 weeks having. Someone could come, like she could come with 20k a day. She had this generous heart. She had a small circle of friends that she could deal with, and lucky enough I was among that circle. But we could ask ourselves, and we could also ask her, where do you get the money from? And she couldn't tell us the secret behind her being rich. But later, after high school, like after some 2 years, we get to realize that she used to practice family planning, and in that,
Who, the kid or
the girl,
the girl?
yeah.
What do you mean she used to?
Yeah, like she used to, like she practiced family planning in that she could sleep with men, and once she sleeps with men, they give her money, and she doesn't become pregnant. So that's how she could earn money regularly. And so she was rich at school. That's what we could call her. And later she developed cancer. So after some few years, sad enough, she passed on. And my question is, though it was a tough moment for me and our friends seeing her, because we witnessed her on her deathbed, being there before she died, and it was a very tough moment for us. So how did you avoid this at your age?
Well, when you were telling that story, I remember this kid. I always remember about him. I don't know why. it was called Bosco. So when the people were teasing the president about calling him Bosco, he was one another kid in primary school. He used to come at school. This was in primary. He used to come with a lot of money, you know. And when I talk about primary, for me, I'm talking about 40 years ago.
What?
And
40 years.
you say, hey, 40 years ago,
It's like
yes.
10 years ago for me.
Yeah, it's like 10 years for these guys too. So, like when you guys you talk about your stories,
Yeah.
it's like just yesterday, 10 years and stuff. And you guys talk about your stories like it's a long time ago. So, but it was, you know, and you know, like those kids, like they are young, but they look like rich because they are chubby. That's how that Bosco used to look. And you know, and he was like those kind of spoiled kids from the rich family and stuff. So it was really fun and stuff. So he used to buy us stuff like a break time, you know. So other kids were like sweet talking, be nice to him because you know, like he's gonna be nice.
The big man of the day.
So those things were really kind of fun. But you always like know that there must be something wrong. So we don't know where he was getting his money. Might be, you know, he used to give me the money at home or something like that. You know.
So like time came and you had to switch off from getting his stuff.
To do what? Say it again.
Like time came and you guys stopped hanging out with him and
No, we never stopped. There wasn't anything like, you know, stopping us from hanging with him. It was always fun in same class and stuff. So, you know, but we always wondered. You know, but even at that time, knowing that there's a kid and their parents have a car. Ooh. Those things were
the whole
really,
school will be
those
afraid.
those things used to be big deal. That there's a kid who gets dropped off at school. Whoa.
For us sleeping in a gate.
Because think about it, the old school would be having like 4 parents. The old school, like, known that they have a car. Yeah.
And you're over like
Yeah.
100
And now you
plus
see all the
kids.
cars all over. You know, at that time you stand on Integral Road.
And you count?
Yeah. This used to be, remember we used to do that into where the Queen's Way. We used like to get in the evening and everybody would be fighting. The car's going this one mine.
You're young.
This one mine. Because you know, but now you can, you know, either way you wouldn't be fighting for which cars goes. Your cars are all the same. Like,
Yeah, but I think that pushed you guys to getting your own cars because you had that zeal of this car is mine, so one day I have to drive a car. So that's the part I love from that.
Actually, for us at like the school that I went to in my A level, we had a boy who could come at school driving himself. Though it wasn't his car,
in
it was
primary
for
school,
no
in high school.
high
In high
school,
school.
A level. Though it wasn't his car, it was for the dad, but the dad had more than one car, so he could come with his car. And he parks it in the evening, he drives back home. And
So-
it was even okay for the school.
Yeah, but I remember like in the 80s and early 90s, there was this kid. He wasn't even in our school. Maybe he was at Makerere College. But even other schools used to hear about him, that he comes to school driving. Even other schools would
Yo.
hear about it.
Then that kid was a big deal
Yeah.
because
So meaning that he could be a prefect when he wants.
Yeah.
He could be.
But
Actually,
did you ever like?
And this kid was an athlete, track and field,
Woo.
and he was
Wow.
really good, you know.
that kid must have
So
been
he was
a
like
big
coming
deal
from
because
big family, rich family, and very athletic. And
Big
he was
family.
like, yeah.
you're
At,
riding.
at one time, he was the Uganda champion in 100 meters
Wow.
for a long time. Even went to the Olympics in '88. Yeah,
Wow.
you know, Barcelona. And Barcelona was '92. '88 was Seoul.
Mm.
Seoul was South Korea. '88. He went to the Olympics.
Wow.
So it was a big deal.
Ah.
You know?
Did you ever feel like discouraged, like seeing, because you grew up like poor and stuff? Did you ever feel discouraged seeing those people, or did it encourage you?
Encourage me, like get inspired and stuff. You know, yeah.
So it inspired you instead of making you feel like, oh, I don't have this. Like,
Yeah, and for us, okay, we are poor, but we never felt like, you know, we never handled ourselves like,
Like poor people.
twalina ngo bugezigezi.
Wow.
So-
We used to have like that thing of like
Dreaming big.
dreaming big, talking about yourself, like,
So meaning sometimes it's also about someone's mindset.
yeah.
Mindset.
Because when you tell me you're poor and you're always dreaming, because like currently, to me, if it like some of my friends, they will be like, man, Sophie, no matter what you say, I know I'm not going to have that. Like my parents are poor, I've grown up poor, and so there are no chances like you would have dreams of one day you'll have your own car or your own building or your what. And they're like, man, that will not happen. You know where I come from, you see my parents, like, because I have this friend of mine, all the time she's like, I've grown up with a single mother. We have been friends for a long time, like, even when I was a kid. But her old stories have been growing up with a single mother. And all the time she'll tell you about, I've grown up with a single mother, so we have grown up hustling and what. Like, she doesn't have that positivity that one day we'll make it, like one day we'll have the big houses and have the big stuff. So I think from you guys, I think it was even the mindset. Yep. Like thinking beyond.
At what age did you learn driving?
You know, I learned earlier because like my brother, big brother, he was having cars. At 17, I was driving.
Wow.
You know, yeah. But I have like some of my cousins who even drove earlier than that at that time. And for me, when I started driving, this was like late 80s. It was a big deal, even like see me driving and stuff. Yeah.
So could you be trusted with a car?
I was, because my brother could like ride with me sometimes when I'm driving. But for us, like planning to drive, it wasn't automatic cars. It was the stick cars, shift.
Stick?
Yeah, stick.
How do the stick cars look like?
Manual.
Manual, or we
yeah.
call it manual. Americans call it stick cars. Yeah, they call it manual. Yeah, stick shift. So like when, you know, like how you are learning to drive, that's the hardest thing to learn to drive with a stick shift. Because like you are just learning, you get nervous, then your leg will be shaking.
Like you're shaking.
You cry because you have to balance the car and stuff. And then you have somebody who's watching who makes you even more nervous.
You start laughing at you.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, yeah. And then you'll be like, hey, hitting on your leg.
So at that age, have you ever driven
But
serious
then when,
distance?
when like I kind of like getting used to it and driving, and so I remember like I have to get the car out and make sure that I pass through like the areas where they know me.
Show off.
I drive through Maki in there around, and you stop even where you're not supposed to stop, but you just
With the
want to
windows
stop.
down.
And you come out of the car even if you have no reason for that.
With the windows down and everyone is looking at you.
I asked you like, what's the most serious the longest distance you've
At
ever
that time, I didn't get to drive anywhere like outside of Kampala, you know. So I did after I'd come back. But before I left here, I never got to drive like any distance going out of the city.
What was your dream car at that time?
You know, I've never been a big like car fan and stuff. I've never been like, you know,
Any car that
like
comes.
a Mercedes Benz. I've never been like never. That has never been. I'm not a big fan. I don't know why.
Of cars.
Yeah, like
But I'm a big fan.
I'm not. You know, the thing is like you can drive a car. You know, like sometimes you can drive a brand new car. Like in the States, you can drive like a rental. Brand new, smells good. Few days, it's a big deal, right?
The excitement's over.
Yeah, excitement is over. And you know, so cars never excite me. Like I wouldn't be like, sleeping, waking up. I wish I could get this kind of.
You're a shoe guy.
Yeah.
I think that even the first time I get to know that a car, like a new car, smells different from a normal car was from you telling us a story about a new car and an old car. That is something I thought it's like when someone is driving a car, that's how they got it. It's not like a cloth. You know, when you have a new cloth, it's different.
Yeah.
Like the scent and stuff.
It's the same thing with the car.
when you have a new car?
Yeah, it smells new, brand new and stuff.
And I think I remember from that time, I think by the time you told us the story, I was in second and I was like, one day I have to be driven in a new car and I see how it feels like the smell and stuff. Like when you're in a new car.
So Isaiah, what do you think about driving in Uganda?
I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
But it's way different in the States. Like levels different. It's here it's just madness. Just pure madness.
The borders are the taxis behind you hitting you.
Yeah. Like this roundabout. All of those roundabouts in town.
Yeah.
Them are crazy.
Crazy,
You
yeah.
try going through there, it's like
Actually,
it's the end of your life. Like
here in Uganda, they say that driving is just by heart.
It's your heart that drives, not your
Like the other
hand.
car, I don't know. Yeah, a few days ago, I think. I don't exactly remember the spot where I was, but the border guy was passing me and he slapped the car. Hey,
yeah. Like how
hey, malevu. Mwana. Ngaka izakali kanu zokuba mu motoka. So oh, I remember it was the sharing wall. Remember,
Yeah,
Zambia,
Zambia.
as we were getting from Zambia, getting in that.
Down.
For no reason. So they come from Malevu. Malevu. Okay, I won't. So now, man, this one is the bike board and I didn't go out.
You reminded me of a story where
You know what, like, maybe it's different, like for somebody who grew up like in the inner city, Katwe and stuff, you always have that in you. Like, you can, like, I can be like, maybe this guy came from the village and now he's trying to show
sure.
doesn't know that you're that
But yeah,
born.
You know what's funny about what's funny about here is like you can be driving or something, and you just be driving, and then some guy can get stopped and try to like force you off the road, like into a ditch.
Yeah.
You just, like for what? But
yeah.
You reminded me of a story where
You can be a Christian and stuff, but still have that Katwe in you.
like,
Yeah, like trying to make a statement. It's like, wait, Malevu. Ngamba, oh.
So how will
Ngamba niko agamba Malevu.
how will you differentiate that from pride?
Pride?
Yeah.
No.
Amalala.
No, that's about respect. You got to be taught respect. Yeah. So you get to him, and you tell him, you know what?
cool down.
First of all, I'm older than you. Be a man, so you got respect. Never forget that. And then you give him one slap. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's no pride. No kamulu yao. I don't got in Namusumba. Don't forget that. The pastor. Yeah.
So bigwaya to data yake.
Ay, man, kanya kaya nga kaya ako. Sabi mo ko, "Bwa, gagwe Malevu." Then you kwala kono bi kwala ke bi vya nga. Ekweti. Na vunga masanso okajukira face nenga sanga lumu nenga sisobola nengane. Nga kali. Yeah.
No swallowing. Yeah.
How did it take to get out of your mind?
These other people here will be like, oh, that's the pastor you're supposed to be like. I'm a pastor from Katwe. Yeah. Don't forget that.
Discipline where you need to discipline.
So Papa, tell us of clubs at your age back then, because here in our generation you can find kids clubbing even in primary. At a young age, someone is clubbing. So how was that way back then?
It's another funny thing, because for us growing up, how do you call it? Trans night. We used to have like, how do you call it? Trans day, trans night. This was the trans night, is it you?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
That's right, the name.
Yeah, you go out through the night. So at that time, if you were to go, let's say to a ski at a place, so that means you go, you don't come back until morning. Yeah,
As a must.
they must, because you couldn't move at night. Not because curfew, but I mean, you'd get
It was
killed for
not
moving
in order
around.
for me.
And at that time, in the 80s, the biggest thing was Elizilia. Now there is Elikesa. The word was Elizilia. It wasn't the word, yeah. Because this course will start 1 during the day, 1 p.m. to evening at 6.
What?
Yeah, that's how it used to be. From 1 to and what's fun, like it was known for more like high school kids who used to go to that in town. There was some places in town where they used to go. But from 1 to 6, not at night. Then at night you go home. Or they used to bring some at school and stuff like that.
So how did you avoid that?
And then they used to have like competitions and stuff. Yeah,
Dancing
dancing competitions. So we used to go to those.
And now it's the other way around.
We used to go to those, And growing up in the city, like you are the ones like who go to those places. You know everybody. You'll be knowing the bouncers. You'll be knowing like who runs the disco. You'll be, So, that was a lot of fun.
Which big musicians were there?
There's we didn't have that like local ones who are like now, because the music was different. Those ones like known were not like the young ones you guys have now. Because at that time we didn't have like, let's say like Rwanda music. We didn't have artists who do that at that time. That kind of started in the 90s. Yeah, the musicians of the 80s was like growing up, Kadongo Kam music wasn't popular. So South African music was bigger at that time here outside. Not even like that was before the Congolese music came.
Lingala.
Yeah, yeah. We had the South African music. Mukomboti, Wamasame, Bondo, like stuff like
Yvonne
from Chaka Chaka. Brandy, what a Brandy? Brenda
I
Fassie.
don't know. I only know Yvonne Chaka Chaka.
Yeah, those were like big names in music. And the Mike, of course, American music.
Actually, there is that scenario that happened some few years back, like 3 to 4 years back, when Yvonne Chaka Chaka came back to Uganda, and like, this time around her music was despised.
Yeah, but when he first came to Uganda, the first time he came,
those
we went to the concert.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like it was also there during the
Yeah,
time.
we went to the concert and being seen on the TV that time, it was a big deal. For some reason, I ended up being in a shot on the TV. And everybody told me that they saw me, even at the church, which kind of was embarrassing. That they knew that I was at the
Disciplinary committee kanisa.
How about your mom?
No, she didn't know. My mom used to hear about stuff and us being in boxing and stuff. But it was, and for me, I was in the news when I was 11 years old. The first time I did when I started boxing.
Wow.
Yeah, there's this kid I fought from Kololo, SS. It was a good fight, and we ended up it was a school tournament. Yeah. So there was a newspaper, Uganda newspaper called Muno. It was big.
Yeah.
TV. So I was in that paper. I wish I could.
But like you go to like these things and stuff, and of course you have like maybe friends that would get involved in like bad things or whatever, or like drinking and stuff, whatever. And like maybe people would be with girls a lot and whatever. But what would you? Because you had these dreams in mind. A lot of your friends did. What would you do to like remind yourself that if you get yourself involved in these things, you might get yourself off track?
That's
from your dreams.
From seeing what happened with people we are led by that. Like growing up in those areas.
So you saw people fall.
Yeah, you would see like kids who are like same age, but off the track, off their path, how they are living their life and stuff, and you're like, you know what?
I
You
never
know?
want to be like them.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why like the kids who grow up in rough areas and they keep their focus, they are always on track, even their older age, than the kids who grow up in organized home. So when they get exposed to these things, they're like they've never been around that stuff. They don't know how to do what to do with.
It's
Or
like
they have never seen somebody who goes through like,
And they don't know where it can lead.
yeah, they know what where it could lead. So, you know,
it's like a dog let out of a canoe and you let it go
Yeah.
where it wants to go, so it
Yeah.
just runs without direction and stuff. Yep.
yeah. So that's how it was. But God is good. We're still around,
Wow. Still here.
still here.
And
Started from the bottom.
Now we're here.
Now we are here.
Yeah, and also,
Yeah. Good night.
wow, we had some awesome time, and thanks for keeping up with us. Thanks for watching. But please and please, if you have questions in your heart, in your mind, you have questions, your friends have questions that you'd like to ask to a father, your father passed away, or else you didn't grow up with a father, or else your father has not been the best father in life, and you have questions and you have hurting places that you'd like to sit down and ask a father, you can message in your questions. If you don't want them to be seen in the comment section, you can message them in. We are going to give you a number on the screen. You can message in your questions, and our father is ready and will be glad to get to you to be your father, to walk you through this father journey. We love you. See you next week.